In today's episode, we will address money consciousness, or better said, the many layers of unconsciousness with money. Welcome to Dare to Be Conscious, the podcast that gets you to change anything with ease. I'm Ruby Pichel, and I'm your host. Money consciousness is going to be today's topic. Or should I say the many layers of unconsciousness with money? Did you educate yourself about money? And I don't mean, did you study finance? I mean, are you willing to become fully aware of what money really is and how it functions in the world of consciousness? It's a tough pill to swallow, and for sure, we will not be able to cover all of this in one episode. But let's scratch the surface, shall we? Let's dive into some elements, because with the current economy and whatever is showing up in the future, you'd be better off being conscious than unconscious with money. 3 key points for today. Know what you don't know about money. A question: are you willing to be out of control and totally unlinear with money? And what's the point of having money, really? Okay, so the topic of money is big. Like I said, we will not be able to cover this in one episode. And I will give some background information, but this conversation will be on a somewhat advanced level of money consciousness. So when I talk about money and I say money is just energy and you disagree, maybe this is not for you. That being said, from the perspective of the evolution of human consciousness and the fact that we all get infinite opportunities to get out of the deep programming, awakening for short, we tend to overlook that money, or our interaction with money, is one of the deepest forms of programming. Or in terms of trauma that we experience on Earth, the level of abuse we experience with money is very severe. Many people don't even want to know much about money. We all have to deal with it at some level because, how else do you pay your bills? And some are better at handling money than others, but most people are far from being money experts. So there are 3 things I mentioned about money that I would like to explore. 1, money is energy. 2, the experience with money is one of the deepest forms of programming. And 3, the level of abuse with money. I could say I'm trying to keep it light here, but these 3 elements always run pretty deep. So let's just take off and flow with it. The fact that people are aware that our interaction with money, or our lack of interaction with money, is part of the deep programming humans are in. That part, the fact that just few people are aware that it's part of the deep programming, that might just be the issue. With the evolution of human consciousness, money consciousness is one of the elements where we hopefully grow from unconsciousness to become very conscious of money. There are a few good books you can read to get through the first layers of unconsciousness around money, starting with Money is Not the Problem, You Are, and the How to Become Money workbook, both written by Gary M. Douglas. And he will suggest a few other books in his books. But this is a good place to start if you want to educate yourself about money. Now, I recently watched a reel on Instagram where someone was talking about worshiping idols, something God tells us not to do. And when we hear the phrase worshiping idols, we immediately think of a golden calf or other gods we're not allowed to worship. But an idol is not a thing or a god. An idol means objects or people that are not God. Anything that is not God. Worshipping God is about surrendering to His will. In other words, making choices according to His will, His purpose for your life. If you are not choosing from within, your source, and source is in you, you are not choosing for your highest good. If you base your choices on any other thing than source, it means you are worshiping an idol. How often do you see yourself or others making a choice based on money? I will not buy this because I don't have the money. Or I can buy this because I have the money. Or I will only buy it when I have the money. A choice is just a choice. And it creates so much more if you choose from the energy it will create, instead of money being the source of your choice. A magical question you can ask, and you can also find this question in the books of Gary Douglas. The question is, if money weren't the issue, what would you choose? If money weren't the issue, what would you choose? This question takes money out of the computation for your choice. If you had all the money in the world, would you buy it? Many times when I ask that question, I get a no. We only think we want to buy something, or we've convinced ourselves we need it. But if we really get to the source or the future it will create when we buy it, it doesn't contribute to a greater future. So money should never be the source for your choices. You are the source for your choices, and the source is in you. Another way to look at this is that anything created by man cannot be above a creation of God. You are a creation of God, and the concept of money, like paper bills, coins, bonds, digital money, is a creation by human hands. Anything made by human hands cannot be above you. And making money the source of your choices is placing it above you and making it more important than you being the source. Now, let's look at the fact that money is energy. If you really want to do a deep dive with this, and well, first of all, go and get the How to Become Money workbook. It will have you looking at how you perceive money, what it is, what it means to you, and this way you find out we have all kinds of points of view about money. We believe money is so many things that it really isn't. For example, money gives security. It keeps us safe. Some people hate money, some people love money, some even fear money. You can imagine when we have all the points of view about money that aren't even true, it's the lies that keep us stuck with money. And it's not about how much money you have. It's about the level of freedom with money. And like I mentioned, getting more conscious with money is part of the evolution of human consciousness. And because there is so much unconsciousness around money, and the fact that most of the money in the world belongs to the happy few, it seems like most people have given up on money. They'll say, as long as I can pay my bills and take some time off now and then, I'm satisfied. I'd rather be happy than rich. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Everybody has free will. Do you see how that is saying no to money? What they're actually saying is, I'll only have money to pay my bills and a little bit more. I have accepted money goes to the lucky few, and I'm satisfied with what I can have. But in times of financial crisis, and that's right about now, right? Do people still have enough to pay their bills? People are even afraid to say the word inflation. It's not even spoken about, and I'm in politics. But I will say it. The fact that you are paying much more for your groceries while your income stays the same means that there is inflation. You and I both know that there are many people saying, as long as I have enough to pay my bills, that means a majority of the population has trained itself to create the point of view of having just enough. Or maybe even refusing all the money in the world because it's for the frauds and the criminals, and just accepting the breadcrumbs. And money, the energy of consciousness, which has consciousness, has no point of view about it. If you don't like to receive it, it will go to those who would like to receive it. Another point of view is you need money to make money. Well, first of all, we don't make money. Well, banks and governments do, but we don't make money. We generate money. We allow money to flow into our lives, into our wallets and bank accounts. And when you say you need money to make money, you are again making money the source of something. And we just talked about money never being the source, or not allowing money to be the source. And what about creating more conscious millionaires? If there is so much money going around the world, wouldn't you rather have it flow through the hands of conscious people than unconscious or anti-conscious people? What if there's a way of redirecting the energy of money and we allow money to contribute to the evolution of consciousness? Do you think that if we ask, it's where the money would also flow? It's not about getting more money to get rich. This is not about gaining money so you can buy a nice car or buy a mansion. Not that it's wrong, but it's not the primary goal. The goal would be to redirect the flow of money and contribute to the evolution of consciousness. And when I say contribute to the evolution of consciousness, I am saying money can contribute to the change people are going through when shifting from lower frequency to high frequency. Destroying all the lies about money and our limiting beliefs about money and our relationship with money will definitely contribute to raising the vibration in the awakening process. Now, everything that brings up or lets down, let's destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And you've heard me use the clearing statement if you've heard this podcast before. If not, go to theclearingstatement.com to learn more about the fabulous clearing statement of Access Consciousness. Now, money is not a bad thing. Money is just energy. And the fact that so many people have a point of view about money proves my point about the abuse with money. To have a point of view means you are judging money. In order to have a point of view, you have to judge. You are judging money as good or bad. There's a right way of spending money, a wrong way of spending money. And when there is space for judgment, you are keeping yourself in a low frequency. When you are in higher frequency, there is no space for judgment. As a matter of fact, in order to shift to a higher frequency, you will have to let go of judgment. Judgment works as little locks on all those limiting beliefs that you so desperately want to let go of. But they will not go because the judgment are holding them in place. So will you let go of all the judgments that are keeping the limiting beliefs in place? Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all night shorts, boys, bullets, and beyonds. Now, all these beliefs about money, we did not create them. As a child, we looked around and we perceived all the limiting beliefs about money from our parents and society, and we bought them as ours. And we started to believe this is what money was. There's never enough, or there's always enough, but I need to deserve it or work for it. Money is not safe. If you have it, it can be taken away from you, by force even. And all these events and experiences get locked in the body like small traumatic events, little balls of energy, and we store them in the body. And that's where we start functioning from. When we grow up, we make choices functioning from the energy or limiting beliefs we have stored in the body since we were kids. And depending on who was the greatest influence in your childhood, you could very well function like your mother or father with money. Another option is to function from the opposite polarity. The experience that causes trauma in the body can also make you decide you will never do it the way you've seen other people functioning with money. If you come from a poor family, you can also decide to become rich when you grow up. If that's your point of view, it's very likely that is going to happen. The thing with spiritual freedom is that you still don't reach total freedom when you function from the opposite polarity. It still leaves you in a no-choice universe instead of infinite choice and infinite possibilities. When you function like your parents did, you align and agree with the points of view, and when you resist and react to it, you force yourself in the opposite direction. I'm not saying it doesn't bring you anything, because it does. I've seen it. I've experienced it. All I am saying is it's not functioning from total freedom. All this talk about money and shaking up the beliefs around money. Now, what's the relevance? What I believe is important when it comes to money is that you know what you don't know about money. Consciousness is not about knowing everything. It's about your willingness to ask a question. A question opens up your awareness and gets you to wonder, what if? What if what I've known so far is only a fraction of what I could actually know? What must I know about money that I've always refused to know? That if I would be willing to know it, would shift money consciousness. If I would shift my money consciousness, would that be a contribution to the planet? For me, that's a definite yes. Okay, key point 2. Are you willing to be out of control with money and to be totally unlinear with money? Most people are not. What does that even mean? They have taught us to be in control, take control, budget, make sure you know how much you earn and spend each month. I don't know. Are you willing to ask the what if question here? What if there is something else possible here? Do you know why the prayer goes, give us this day our daily bread? It doesn't say, give me bread for the whole week so I can feel secure. It doesn't say, give me enough money to buy food for the whole month so I can feel comfortable. It says, give us this day our daily bread. It means we have to live in the present moment. We don't worry about yesterday because yesterday is gone. We don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow isn't even here yet. And our capability to live in the now moment, to live today, has been completely wiped out from how we live our lives. We've been taught to plan, to budget, to hoard. But who has been taught by their parents, school, or church to live in presence? Who actually exercised I am presence since they were a child? Dare I say, no one? And okay, I hear you. So what are you saying, Ruby? First, you want us to get more conscious about money, and then we shouldn't worry about money? It's either the one or the other. And yes, I get it. It seems a bit of a paradox, but it's both. Money consciousness is not about getting more money and worrying about it. It's about redirecting the flow of the energy of money so we all allow it to contribute to the evolution of consciousness. And if money gets to contribute to the evolution of consciousness, it has to flow through people who are willing to choose consciousness to get to places where consciousness wants to flow. We are not in charge of the ripple effect of consciousness. We can only choose to be willing to be the gateways of consciousness and allow it to flow through us. And next to the energy of money, there is so much more. There is love, light, gratitude, kindness, caring, joy, peace, and so many other energies we can allow to flow through us. And all these energies are limitless. So what's the point of having money? It's this. It's your willingness to allow the energy of money to function as a contribution to the evolution of the earth, which flows through our hearts, our consciousness. If you are willing to change the world and make it a better place, could you do more with or without money? With money, right? So let's stop making money the villain. Let's stop refusing money because it wasn't created for the good of humanity. So it hasn't been created for the good of humanity. Well, interesting point of view, you have that point of view. Let go of the judgment of what you think is right or wrong, and let's change the direction of money with money consciousness. Isn't it worth a shot? If we stay unconscious around money, things will definitely not change. So, are you with me? There's this book called The Ascent of Money by Niall Ferguson. And this book teaches us so much about money, how money was created, where it came from and where it went. And a big part of that the place where I live, the Netherlands, it played a major role in the ascent of money. And I will not go into it right now. We will dive deeper into this topic at a later moment in time. But seeing this and reading this and perceiving all of this just shows how much I have not been willing to be conscious with money. And I have an economics degree, I have a business degree, and I know many of the things that I read in that book. I just haven't been willing to really be conscious with money and where it came from and what people used it for to get what they wanted. So, like I said, let's stop making money the villain. Let's stop judging it because it hasn't been created for the good of humanity. But everything that the devil uses for evil, God will use for good. So let's start using it for the good of humanity. I know for some of you, this will make total sense, and others may have stopped listening. Money is a major topic, and it is so much more than just a matter of having it or not, or how much money you can earn or spend. The things that keep us in low frequency or unconsciousness are judgments and all kinds of feelings and emotions that we keep locked up because of our judgments. Getting conscious about that helps us shift and change, so we can start seeing things from a different perspective. Money is a big part of that because it is being used as a form of abuse, a distraction, a source for choice, as leverage, you name it. Everything people can do to each other, they do it with money or the lack of it. And we also do it to ourselves. How we might be able to generate money, but we are not able to keep it because we think we are not worthy. And now, before I open up a whole new can of worms with that, we are going to call it a day for the topic money consciousness. I hope I was able to give you some insights on money and a different way of being with money in the world. And I hope this opens up the space for you to ask questions about money consciousness. What is your point of view about money? And what's your relationship with money? Do you love it? Would you always have issues with it? And please allow this to be a space of question and not a space of judgment. What else is truly possible with money? And what will it take to allow money to contribute to the evolution of consciousness? I don't know if I can promise you a less heavy topic next time. I always ask, how does it get better than this? And so I will let the universe answer that question. Let me see what comes up, and we'll dive into another element of this game we call life on Earth. If you want to be reminded when there's a new episode, subscribe to my podcast, connect with me on social media. The links are in the show notes. If you have a question about this episode or future episodes, connect with me, send me your question. Thank you for what you are choosing in the world. You matter. I love you.